His Grace podcast. I am Tanshell Ward, and I would like to welcome you to the podcast where I get to sit and are here to tell the story of living by God's grace because we know that we are all living by God's grace. And we thank God for how He uses us, how He grooms us, how He grows us in the seasons of our lives. And I am so excited. I have with me my sister, Erica Yvette, who is my special guest on this evening. Welcome, Erica, to the podcast.
Thank you. It is so good to be here. Finally, sitting with you to talk.
And it is so good to have you here to hear your story and hear the great things that God is doing in your life and through you. But I
Yes.
want to formally introduce you to the viewers so they can know who you are. Erica Yvette is a wife, best-selling author, an administrator, a speaker, and a life coach. She's
Mhm.
doing many great things to give of herself for the growth and development of others. So we thank God for her and her faithfulness in the kingdom of God.
Yes.
So, Erica, tell me if you had to use a word that starts with an E that describes who you are, what would that word be and why?
My word would be exhorter because I am always an encourager. Um, and probably 2 years ago, I would have said encourager. My pastor gave me that word, exhorter, and I was like, okay, and it's still an E. I am always the glass half full. So I'm always trying to encourage someone no matter what the situation is. I'm always seeing the brighter side to it.
Good, good, awesome. So, who was young Erica? Because you say your pastor gave you the exhorter.
Mhm.
So, who was the young Erica?
The young Erica was talkative, kind of like the old Erica. Um, loved games. As a kid, loved outside. Uh, grew up in a neighborhood with neighborhood kids, so I love being outside to play with my friends. Um, funny, uh, a rule follower. Didn't like getting in trouble, so I follow rules. Um, and I would just say overall fun loving.
Great.
Hmm.
And those same characteristics have carried throughout your life. And spending time with you and getting to know you, I see a lot of those same things in you now. So
Hmm.
you are true to who you are and you have not forgotten how to be youthful, how
Hmm.
to laugh, how to have a good time. And that is so good because so many adults, we lose sight of just the innocence of life.
Hmm.
And I see some of those same things in you now. So that's good to hear you actually express it.
That's who I am now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So most little girls, they have dreams and they aspire to be different things when you're playing those games that you talked about. What do you want to be when you grow up? And we usually have our perspective of who we
Mhm.
want to be. So, do you think that you are where you want it to be, where you desire to be? Because what did you want to be when you grew up?
You could not tell me I would not be doing hair. I wanted to be, back in the day, I wanted to be a beautician. Went to school for cosmetology. I wanted to do hair. It didn't pan out that way, but that was my dream. I I didn't go to Kennedy. I didn't go to, the schools that my friends went to. I went to Robwin because I wanted to do hair. So I went to the school that had the cosmetology uh, course. Didn't make it that far, but that was what I wanted. So no,
Did
I
you
didn't
ever get
see,
to do hair? Did you
huh?
ever get to do any hair?
Um, Friends,
Okay. Okay, well,
friends.
good.
Yeah, yeah. I never got paid for it, but friends. Yeah, some of them were my guinea pigs, and they let me cut. Um, I had a friend that had a shop, and while I was in school, she allowed me to come in and do some things just to get some hand-on experience. But the ultimate goal was to do hair and be paid for it. But that God had other plans.
Yes. Well, you do a lot of stuff to your own hair because
That's the cosmetologist in me.
yes, you do a lot of stuff to your own hair and you're constantly changing your look and you're able to do what you love, but you're doing it for yourself now.
Doing it for
So that's a good
myself.
thing. That's
Yes.
a good thing. Yes, you don't have to pay a beautician because you are your own beautician.
It's hard. It's hard for me to pay people to do stuff that I know how to do. Yes. I am my
Exactly.
own client.
Exactly.
Oh
And we
God.
see it all
Yes.
the time. See it all the time with your different looks and how you can transform yourself and be exactly who you purpose to be in the moment. So that's a good
Yes,
thing.
ma'am.
So it's not all lost. It's
It's
not
not.
lost. It's
It's
just
not.
that it's reformed. It
Yes,
is
yes.
reformed.
I'm still using it.
Yes. And
Oh gosh.
that's good. That's good. You get to use it and you get to so that is awesome. I hear you talk
Yes, I
about your
mean, I don't
friends
want to
and
do
how they
somebody else's
allowed
hair and
you
they lose a braid. That's
exactly.
happened to me.
But see, so how did you recover from that? How did you
Child, I was in
recover when you
church.
lost your braid?
I was in church. And the lady next to me says, "This yours?" I was like, "Oh." So,
Well, at least
it's
you didn't
probably
pay
best that I
somebody.
only do my own.
Yes. Well, at least you didn't pay anyone to do that. You lost the braid that you put in.
Yes. Oh gosh. That's too funny.
Exactly. That is too funny. So
Oh
yeah, I
Lord.
hear you talk about your friends and you talk about your church. And what system do you think was the most influential in who you are right now? Because we know we have our communities, we have our church, we have our schools, we have our family, we have different things that impact our lives. What
Mhm.
would you say was the most influential for you?
I would say family, my mom specifically, um, with a combination of church, but mainly my mom. Um, I had a mother growing up who talked to me, you know, um, depending on my level, talked to me on my level. The things that she needed to share, she shared. The guidance that she needed to give, she gave, depending on what age and stage I was in. Um, so I would say that she did a really good job in preparing me for some things, um, introducing me to God, number one. And I would also say church because I was one of those who, the Easter programs, I was doing a poem. Christmas, I was in the play. Mother's Day poems. So it made me not be afraid to speak. I've always been a talkative person. I was a very talkative kid. But those areas developed me to not be afraid to speak out in public. So definitely family and church helped to develop who I am now.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. And
Mhm.
it's good to hear you say that because that's how I am with the same rearing where we didn't get to say no as children when it came to participating in church. You're going to learn those lines. You're going to get up there and you're going to do exactly what you are told to do. And then you're going to go sit down. And
Exactly.
it took away, it took away the fear of public speaking
Yeah.
because our advisors, they pushed us into purpose
Mm-hmm.
and they allowed us to speak out. And that's a good thing. That's why it's important that we allow children to have that rearing because it eliminates some of those fears.
Yes.
If they're, if they're able to see it and they're guided and they're told that you can do it and they're applauded for their efforts, it takes away that fear of public speaking. And then now you are a speaker, you are a teacher, so you can use some of that
Yes.
as you
And there was no
continue to
such
do your
thing.
work.
There was no such thing as standing in front of the church with a paper in your hand. No,
Absolutely.
you were gonna learn it.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's how we were. You're gonna learn those lines, and
Mm-hmm.
even when we used to have plays, you're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna read those lines. You're gonna understand the concept, and
Yeah.
you're gonna say whatever you need to say to bring in that next line, and you need to understand what you're doing. So we
Exactly.
couldn't do that either when we were in the youth choir and
Yep.
participated in youth events. So that's good to hear because I have
Mm-hmm.
that same experience as a child.
Yep. No choices.
Absolutely. Mm-mm, no
I remember
choices.
being in the youth choir. I don't remember asking to do that.
Ask. No, you don't ask. When they're putting a program together in their head, they already write down your name next to the part that you're going to do.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
Yes, that's
But it
that's
was a
how it
great
is.
thing though.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent. And it actually shapes you and
Yes.
allows you to develop in ways that you wouldn't have even imagined that you could do it. So that's a good thing to actually have.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it taught us to trust in ourselves and believe in ourselves because we were able to get through it. So we know that in relationships, we can sometimes be challenged with what works best in a relationship. Just like you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about family, you're talking about church, you're talking about different systems. What do you think is the most important in a relationship? And I'm not just talking male female relationships, I'm talking just relationships in general. Do you find that people need to have trust,
Mm-hmm.
love, be willing to sacrifice, honesty? What do you find is the most important thing in a relationship as we grow and develop?
For me, all of those rank number one. That
Okay.
it's hard to even separate them. Um,
Mhm.
One you didn't have was communication, but you have to have all of those things to have an effective relationship. Like you said, it's not always male female, but on your job you got to be able to communicate. With your family you need to be able to communicate. Um, you need to be able to trust the people you work with, to a degree. Um, you know, the people you work with aren't always your friends. You just have a common goal trying to get that job done, right? But I don't see any one of those things being a higher priority than the other. To me,
Okay.
they're all equal. They're all number one.
And it just depends on the individuals
Hmm.
and how that person views it from a personal perspective because we're not all reared the same. And
True.
there are some people who are reared and they're longing for trust because they never had trust.
Hmm.
Then you have some who never experienced love, so they don't know how to love. Then
Hmm.
you have some who have been so disappointed that they're seeking honesty. So it just depends on our rearing when we develop into adults, what we deem the most important thing in a relationship.
Right.
And no two people will always see it the same.
The same.
And I
True.
know that your platform was birthed from what you have expressed to be a failed relationship, one that
Mhm.
didn't yield the results that you were seeking in the natural.
Mhm.
What do you think was the reason for the failure from your perspective and not against the individual? What do you feel was missing?
Honesty.
Honesty.
um, honesty. Um, honesty.
Okay.
And yeah, that was probably the main thing that was missing. Um, a lack of trust. Um, yeah,
Right.
those are two main things.
Right.
Two main.
And that's good because I wanted to let you explain that because so many times when we have relationships, we target and we attack the person
Person. Mm-hmm.
and we make everything about the person. He did this, she did that, he did that. But if you never identify the problem, you will go to the next relationship and you will accept some of those same things because you didn't give it a name.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say where I need honesty. So
Mm-hmm.
when you see dishonor and when you see someone not being honest, you can immediately recognize it. But if
Mm-hmm.
you make it about the person, when you leave the person, you think you've left the thing behind.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's why I wanted to get you to express it because you
Mm-hmm.
have to name that thing.
Right. And it's not it comes in the form of a person, but
Right.
it's the thing itself because it could
Yes.
have been anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that's what's key when we are speaking life into people and we're trying to get people to see how do you move to the next level.
Right.
You first have to know what was the problem on this level,
Mm-hmm.
not the person,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll repeat those cycles.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what's the problem here. What do I not want to accept in the next season of my life?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
so that's good that you are able to identify it and you didn't have to, at this moment, make it about the person.
Right.
So, how long were you in your marriage, your relationship, and what do you feel allowed Erica to stay in an unhealthy situation?
So dating 8 years, married legally three, but before the third anniversary, I was gone. Um, and so the settling part was more in the dating than it was the marriage. And I think what kept me there, it's a number of things. Not even think I know a number of things. One was my naivety. Um, I was very inexperienced when it came to dating, and I'm sure it showed. Um, and because I was a person who didn't really stand up for myself, when things occurred, I just let it happen.
Mhm.
Um, when the relationship got to a serious point, I never saw myself as being a person that hopped from person to person to person. And so once it became a serious thing, we in this state because I'm not doing this,
Mhm.
two and three people down the line. So I think part of it was that. Um, and because I was never, I would say, of my friends, they were heavily dating. I was not. So when somebody showed interest, it's like, oh, they like me. Okay, we in this forever. It was a combination of things. It was a
Mhm.
combination of things. Um, But the main thing was me not setting a standard of what I wanted. It was, I saw him, they saw me, oh she cute, oh he cute, let me get the number. It wasn't two mature people knowing what they wanted and being able to set the standard of how they wanted to be treated. It was not that. And so because I didn't have a standard, what was given is what I took, was what I accepted. And I am, I mean, I'm trying to, I'm hoping that I'm past that, but I was always the person that didn't like confrontation. So when something happened, I just got quiet. I'm angry, I'm not talking. And in not talking, it made them think, okay, yeah, I can keep doing what I'm doing because she's not going to say anything. And that's basically what happened until I couldn't take it anymore. But that's what kept me stuck there. So then when the marriage proposal came, my mind said, not that I was trying to change, but my mind said, okay, we're going from girlfriend, boyfriend, which is a totally different relationship than spouse, husband and wife. Things will change. For me, being a wife is totally different than being a girlfriend. A wife is a whole nother kind of commitment, but that doesn't mean they felt the same, right? So marriage did not change our dynamic. It just changed our titles. How they were in the dating is how they continue to be in the marriage. And when that did not change, I began to see that this is not where I'm supposed to be. I probably should have seen it a whole lot sooner than 8 years of dating. But but after being married, it's like, okay, this is not gonna work. This is just not, it's not it. So it's a whole combination of things that kept me stuck.
Well, just like young ladies, you aspire to be married, and it's like you finally made it. You've been chosen. You've been the one that has been picked out of
Mm-hmm.
all the others. And you kind of think that it's going to shift things because you want it to mean to the other person what it
What
means
it
to
means to
you.
me. Exactly.
But it just depends on who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at your bio, you expressed that you were dealing with emotional and financial abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people think abuse is simply just physical
Mm-hmm.
and verbal.
Mm-hmm.
So explain, what does emotional and financial abuse look like? Because everyone knows what physical looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Verbal, you can express it. What
Right.
does your abuse that you reference in your bio, what was that for you?
So I was one of those who thought that abuse was just physical. I mean, physical, verbal. So I didn't recognize what I was in until after I got out of it. And people start talking more about domestic violence awareness and started giving you the layers to it. And when I started hearing those layers, it was like, oh goodness, that was me. So
Mhm.
the emotional abuse side of it was, it's basically being bullied um, by your spouse or by your significant other. It was never, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. But when I did a certain thing and they were angry about it, because I'm a people pleaser, okay, when I do that, he get mad. So I'm not gonna do that anymore. And he would use that technique of getting ticked off about anything, simple things, um, that made me knuckle under. Then it was the accusations. He was the very first everything. So how do you accuse me of doing things that you know I'm not doing? And we're literally arguing over stuff that you made up. That was just to get me to knuckle under, right? So that was weighing on me emotionally. But because I'm angry and I'm not talking, I'm not expressing how I'm feeling. So that was weighing on me in my emotions. Financially, I'm thrifty. I save. Everything we did, I either put down a down payment, I paid it, I bought it because they know I had it. And it was never us as a team. It was E got it. I know E got it. E got, so E had it.
Mhm.
And before E knew it, she left the situation and had to file bankrupt because E's name was on everything, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so those were the two types of abuses that I experienced. Um, and I didn't recognize it when I was in it. I didn't know that that was considered that, you know. I didn't know it had a name.
And that's what we were speaking of earlier, giving it a
Mm-hmm.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't name it, then you can't really address it.
Right.
And you don't know what you will accept and will not accept in your new season if you don't
Mm-hmm.
name it.
Right.
So we got to get to a place where we stop sweeping stuff under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Just let that mess and that dirt show itself so you
Mm-hmm.
can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to sweep it and dispose of it than
Mm-hmm.
to cover it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of ladies need to hear, especially in the times we're in now, because
Yes.
manipulation is real. Gaslighting
Very.
is real.
Yes.
Ghosting is real.
Yes.
Deflecting is real. And people are playing on the hearts and the minds of the vulnerable.
Yes. Yes.
And love
And
makes us
taking
vulnerable.
advantage of it.
Yes, love truly
Mm-hmm.
makes us vulnerable. It puts us in a vulnerability of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that we all can attest to at some point in our lives. If you've loved, you've been in a vulnerable state.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But when you name the things that you will not tolerate, then that's when you're able to move on.
Yes.
Do you remember the moment when you said, enough is enough? I am taking a stance. I shall be silent no more. What was that moment like? And where were you spiritually and emotionally at that time?
The moment I said enough is enough was someone saw him out with another person. Uh, and although I knew that there was someone else, it was like sneaking around. To me, my mind processed it as it's at night, nobody sees, it's in this particular event, and they were out, and some of my family saw. And for me, it's like it blew the whole lid off. The lid was already off, but it was still me trying to hold on. And once word got back to me of who saw what they saw, I was like, I can't do this. They really don't care. Didn't care in the beginning, right? But that's just the way my mind processed it. And it's like, okay, I can't do this because now you showboating. This is it for me. And that literally was the day that I was like, I'm done because I'm not competing with that.
Right.
So it took family to see it.
Right. Because in your own mind, you were actually kind of protecting it. Although it was
Probably.
painful, you were protecting as long as I know,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
long as
I
it's
knew
just
it.
us, I
But
can
once
deal
it
with it.
got exposed,
Yes.
yeah. And I had moved back home. I had left. But when I made my vows, I was serious about what I said,
Hmm.
and so I was like, okay, that's still my husband. Okay, still my husband. And after, family saw, and then they called, and my mom was like, she home. Because nobody even knew that. No,
Right.
nobody even knew I was back home because I was still trying to keep hope alive, you know, that he would change or that things would change. And after that, I was like, that's it. She can have him. So that was the moment.
So while your trust was broken and you were living in a dishonest marriage,
Mhm.
do you think that that person loved you?
So I think in his own little twisted way, I
Hmm.
do, I do believe it to a degree. And I'm gonna give you an example. So I found out that there was a kid. The kid happened before we got married. It was in our dating. Nobody told me. After we're married, I find out. I remember in the dating, like these 20 questions. What if I did? Because this is the way we got to know each other, right? We like early 20s. So, what if I did this? What would you do? What if I did this? What would you do? We're trying to feel each other out on how we handle situations. And the question was posed, what would you do if I told you I had a child? And my answer was, depends on how old it is. And they said, why? And I said, well, if it's younger than 2 years, that means you've cheated because we have been together for 2 years. If it's older than 2 years, that was before me, and that's a decision I need to make. I never really wanted to date anybody with kids because I didn't have any kids. And so, I was like, why? You have kids? No, 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 just asking. Okay, that's just part of the questions. Years later, and now we're married, a kid surfaces, and the kid is 8. And when I did the math, that was those 2 years in the dating, right? Because we had been together 10 by then.
Hmm.
And after it was revealed that there was a kid, that question came back to me. And I took it at, well, I did ask. So, like, why didn't you tell me that? If that's really what it was, why didn't you tell me? Because you said you were going to break up with me if I had, if it was real. And so I think he knew what he had in me, you know. Um, so I do believe there was, in my head, I think it was love in a sick way. Kind of like I don't want anybody else to have her. Like I know what I have, but maybe she ain't enough, so I'm over here too. But I don't think in 13 years there was no love at all. You know,
Hmm.
that's a long time to be with somebody and not have any feelings. So I mean, I do believe he did, but just not the way I needed it.
Right. Right. Did you have self love?
Um, I'm gonna say no
Okay.
because what I realized is that I loved him way more than I loved me, and that was one of the lessons that I learned. I put everything that he wanted ahead of my own self. Now, low self esteem, that wasn't my issue. I mean, I love me.
Hmm.
But relationship wise, my decisions were centered around him. What he wanted, what he wanted to do, where he wanted to go. It was never about me. And I didn't make it about me. I made it about him. So no, the self love, no. Um, yeah, I learned a lot of lessons in that through that whole ordeal. Yeah.
Life will teach us
Yeah.
some lessons,
Yes.
and some of them will be painful, but they will allow us to grow.
Oh yeah.
And when you say you made it about him, it's you had that image of marriage, and
Mm-hmm.
marriage is not supposed to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to leave mother and father. You're supposed to become one with man or a
Mm-hmm.
woman, and you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to live this thing happily ever after. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you had in your mind. That's the fairy tale.
And it's not supposed to be
Uh,
selfish. So, it
right,
can't just be all about me. It's two of us. So
right,
I poured it all over there.
yes. And you
Mm-hmm.
were willing to sacrifice yourself for it,
Mm-hmm.
which ultimately that's what you did.
Yep.
Well,
Yes.
the great thing about your story is I know you have those years that you were challenged with that marriage. Did you ever think that you would be married again?
Never really crossed my mind.
Mhm,
Um, I never really thought about marriage, even with the first one.
mhm,
Um, with the first one, it came because we dated so long. And as I was approaching 30, it's like, okay, what are we doing? I
Uh-huh.
can't be a girlfriend for like, 10, 15 years. So what are we doing? So I kind of proposed the, I guess, ultimatum, if you will. What we doing? Because I'm not doing this. And as I'm growing in my relationship with God, it's like, okay, I'm not living right, right? So what are we doing? And so, he did it. The second one, I truly believe, and this is what I tell people, I believe God saw me in such brokenness because I was devastated, right? It was the kid I didn't know anything about to find out the whole family knew and I didn't. And on top of a kid, you still out here, right? So you cheated on me while we were dating, and now you're cheating on me when we're married and a kid. And like I found out about all of these things all at one time. So it was like truly devastating. And so I feel like God looked at me in that brokenness and said, I can't let her think that that's marriage. I can't let her think that that's what a loving relationship is. So when I met my current husband, I was still legally married, but I had filed for the divorce. So as soon as the divorce was final, we started dating. So it's like it looks to people like I got out of one and jumped right into another one. But I feel like God did that because I was in my 30s, and I feel like if it hadn't been God, I would have been really closed off and I would never date it because I wouldn't be able to trust anybody that I met off the street. I was um, a family, right? Kept a secret. A mom, a grandmother, sisters, cousins. So if I had met somebody on the street and they say, "Oh no, I don't have children," ask my mama. I had a mama to lie. Oh, you can ask my grandma. You can ask. I had a whole family to deceive me. So I would not have trusted anybody. So my husband was recommended to me, not recommended, but my cousins, people that I love and trust, said, "Hey, we know somebody that'd be perfect for you." God knew that I would trust them with whoever it was they thought would be great for me. I wouldn't have been able to meet somebody on the street. So I feel like, although I wasn't looking at marriage, I feel like God did it quick to say before her heart get real, real hard, it's
Mhm.
healing. But before it get hard and she closed off to anybody, let me show her what it could really, really be. And that's what he did. So
Good. Good. So what is it like finding love after heartbreak?
amazing.
Yes.
amazing. You know,
Good.
when we started dating, like I was doing this a lot. Like this can't be real.
Mhm.
Nobody's this nice. He really don't have children. Lord, where you meet a 30-some-year-old man that don't have kids? I truly know that it was the Lord's doing. The Lord knew just what I
Mhm.
wanted. I didn't know, you know.
Right.
Um, and with him, it helped me to see what I wanted. And
Mhm.
I really didn't even have to state it. He was already it. God already knew. God
Mhm.
had it there. So in with him, I've learned what I want. You know, anything happens, with this, one of us, he God forbid he dies first. Somebody would have a hard time getting over here
Mhm.
because now I know what it truly feels like. Number one, to be married to your friend. Me
Mhm.
and the other one, we weren't friends. Me and my husband, we are friends. When I tell you we do everything together, we laugh every day. We're both silly. It's just, it's an amazing friendship, relationship, marriage that I wish everybody could know, know what this feels like. Um, Somebody who truly cares.
Mhm.
And it's not lip service. Like I see it, I feel it. My safety is important. My dreams are important. The things that I do, getting ready for this. You need me to get your lights? You need me to, like, he's, you know? Anything
Right.
that I do is important to him. And it's no feeling like that in the world to have a mate that truly, truly cares about you and what you do in all of it. Not just a particular area, not this, I'm thrifty, so I got some money. It's the whole thing, the whole package. He's concerned about me. So I
Yeah.
have the whole cake.
I truly love that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, such a great testimony after
Mhm.
experiencing heartbreak. So you are a true testament of how God will show up in our lives just when we need it. And we'll know that it's God
Yes.
because it's nothing that you can do, nothing that you spoke. So that's when you truly know that God is working it out in your favor.
Yes.
So you are called the now that you have reached the epitome of who you are in God,
Mm-hmm.
coming from such a place of devastation. You are now the never settle coach
Mm-hmm.
because now you know what you deserve. And
Yes.
you have a book
Mm-hmm.
that's entitled Never Settle for Crumbs. You Deserve the Whole Cake. Where did that title come from?
So when I ended the first relationship, I've always liked to write. I started writing, but it was coming from a place of brokenness. And so everything was, it was mainly about what all was done to me, right?
Mhm.
Um, and it didn't really have anywhere to go because I wasn't healed when I was writing it. And I hear most people say when they write, their title is like the last thing that comes to me, but mine, I always get title first. And so for that particular writing, it was Stop Settling for Less Than You Deserve. That was what I titled it because I had
Mhm.
recognized that's what I had done for those 11, 12, 13 years. I settled for less than what I deserved. Um, I was in a place, I guess this was in 20, no, this is 2019. I was in a place of trying to figure out purpose. I know the heart that I have for people. I've always been that friend that people will come to for encouragement, advice, and all of these things. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it. And somebody asked me, well, did you pray? And I hadn't, I pray when I lose keys, like, Lord, where my
Mhm.
keys? Show me Holy Spirit with my keys and he'll do it. But I didn't think about that. And I was like, no, I haven't. And I did. And the very next day, I was lying in bed and the Lord was showing me visions of that previous relationship and just things that were said, things that were done. And I was lying in bed and in my head, I was like, man, I settled for crumbs. Ding, I settled for crumbs. You deserve the whole cake. And that's how I got the title. And that day I got to writing. But
Right.
that was how I got it. It just, he showed me stuff. It's like, man, I really settled for some stuff. And I wrote it to help people to not do that.
Right. And
Hmm.
you know we like cake.
But you don't want no crumbs, right? You
No,
want your whole
ma'am. No,
cake.
ma'am. Like the only way you're gonna eat the crumbs is after you have finished with the whole cake. You
Exactly.
don't just settle for the crumbs.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
is an awesome title,
Hmm.
and it really speaks volumes because so many times we settle in life and we
Hmm.
will be okay with the crumbs because you think
Hmm.
that at least you had some of it.
Something. Yeah.
You had
Mm-mm.
something, but when you
Mm-mm.
know that you deserve the whole cake, don't even just give me a piece of it. I deserve the whole
The
cake,
whole thing. Yes.
and
Yes.
if I take a piece, it's because that's what I desire to have.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, that is
In
awesome.
the book, I mentioned what's her name? Is it Shirley Murdoch who wrote? I can't think of the song where she said having a piece of man is better than no man at all. Is that Shirley Murdoch?
Yeah.
That's a lie.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. I don't want no peace.
Ma'am.
No, no. That's the worst advice she
Mm-mm.
could have ever gave anybody.
Yes.
No,
Mm-mm. No,
no,
ma'am. You
no.
can have that.
That's settling at its finest. No, no. We're
Yes.
not doing
And
that
what do
over
you
here.
have after that? What do you have after that when you get that
Crumbs.
little piece?
Crumbs.
Yes.
You got crumbs with
Yes.
it.
And some of the crumbs are stale.
All of them are stale.
Exactly.
All of them.
Exactly.
All of them.
Yes.
No,
So
no. We're not doing
exactly.
that.
So now that we know what we deserve, we know we're not settling for that. And we're not settling for less than what we deserve.
No.
So as you are evolving in your purpose with God and you are a writer and a, best-selling author, you also have a coaching workbook. What's the title of that workbook?
So the workbook is Stop Settling in Relationships. It's time for a mindset shift.
Mhm.
And I know it's lengthy, but I titled it that because in meeting women, I have talked to so many people, and it's amazing that we've all experienced some sort of the same thing. But when you meet somebody who every relationship that they've been in has been basically with the same person but just with a different face,
Yes.
it's something in them that's attracting that thing, but that thing
Right.
is not good for them. And so you need to evaluate yourself. So there are pages in the book where you evaluate past relationships. What did I do? What did I like? What didn't I like? Why did I speak up about what I didn't like? Why didn't I if I didn't? It's making you look at you to see, why am I attracting the same person that's not healthy for me? Two or three people, the same exact characteristics, and they all ended the same way, because that's not the person for you. And it's something with you. It's not always them. It's something with you. And so I actually have it right here because I wanted to share the three parts. Like, there's a section that's telling you about settling in relationships, and it identifies red flags. I saw plenty of red flags, but I checked them all green, just went right past. Boom, right? When you identify a red flag, you see it, you've got to acknowledge it. And when you
Right.
acknowledge it, it'll let you know whether you need to keep going. Because some of them mean stop and go, go on with your life. And I didn't look at those. I just kind of, nah, that's not what I thought it was. I'm gonna keep on going, right? Don't do what I did. The second part talks about toxic relationships. How do you identify what's toxic? All relationships aren't toxic. There may be things that you can work on, right? I'm not an advocate for divorce. If you can work on it, work on it. But both people have to be willing to do that. You can't do
Yes.
it by yourself. And within that section, it also identifies what abusive relationships look like. Because you may be like me, didn't even realize that's what it was, you know, because it sounds so hard. Oh, I was in an abusive relationship. You automatically think somebody must have hit her. And it's not that, just the emotional bullying, that's abuse. And the last section is called No More Crumbs. And it's where you are healing. And there are work pages in it for you to talk about what it is you desire, how you want to be treated. But you got to work through all that other stuff to even know what you want.
Right.
Why did you even accept all of that other stuff? You have to acknowledge all of that before you can say, well, this is what I really want. This is how I want to be treated. And it ends with a love language quiz. I have two people that I know who've actually worked in it with their spouses. So I designed it for a person to just work in it to get them together. But one of my friends was like, girl, I showed it to so and so, and he was like, get one so we can work in it together. I was like, all right, now for the couple counseling.
Good
but
job.
but I really think that a person who takes the time to actually look at it and do it will really see themselves and understand what they really deserve.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. So
Mhm.
how would someone get a copy of your book and your workbook? How would they get that?
They're both on Amazon. They are
Okay.
both on Amazon. It because the titles are so lengthy. If you just look up my name, Erica Yvette, what I have will pop up.
Okay, good. Good. Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
So people can take advantage of the content that you've put out to help with growth and development and
Yes.
actually working on the mindset. So
Yes.
that is truly, truly awesome.
Yes.
Do you think that you are truly, truly walking in your purpose now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know I am. I know I am.
Yeah.
When my mom and I are like this, and when I share things that I've done, um, people that I've talked to, platforms that I've been on, she'll tell me, "Oh, I could just hear it. Like when you're talking about it, I just hear it. You're just so excited, And I'm like, "Yeah, I love being able to encourage, especially a young woman. A young
Yeah.
woman who's like new to dating, to try to be preventative. Like that's my ultimate goal. I want to be in a space where I can talk to young women. And I am sort of, I work at a university, so there are some opportunities that I've had to be able to talk to young women, and just let them know, like, don't do what I did, right? I'm a guide. I did this. I ignored this. You don't be like me. Learn from my mistakes. I've always been that person. I try to learn from other people's mistakes. I don't have to make the same mistake you made to learn. So
Mhm.
learn from my mistakes and set a standard for how you want to be treated. And it starts right there, setting a standard. If you don't have a standard, you don't have nothing to go on. So it
Right.
starts with a
Exactly.
standard. Hmm.
Yes. That's key. You have to have a standard. If not, then you don't even have any boundaries.
None.
You just allow any and everything to come in, and if you're not careful, you lose sight of who you are. You
Yes, ma'am.
become so enmeshed with a situation,
Yes.
so you no longer exist in your true state.
Yes. Yes.
So when you are not coaching and you're not counseling and you're not doing all the things that you do for others, what
Mhm.
brings you joy? Just pure
Jump in
joy
rope with
forever.
you. Jump in rope with you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, girl. That
My
jump rope
double
is
Dutch
something
sister.
else. Yes. And Double Dutch has really, really brought out the joy in us.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
such a sisterhood. We talk about that all the time.
Yes,
Tell the
ma'am.
people a little bit about what Double Dutch does for us. Just
Oh
the
my
naturalness.
gosh. Uh the sisterhood that we have. I mean, we all have the thing that we do daily in our lives. But
Mhm.
when we come together, those things are not important. We do more laughing, we jump, we encourage each other in our jumping because almost all of us are over 50. And just
Yeah.
coming together and just the fun that we have. Oh my God. We laugh so much that I don't care what happened during your weekend, during the previous week. When that Monday come, we are all full of joy.
Yes.
Nobody comes like down and depressed, and we it's the best thing God could have ever connected me with.
Yes. I feel the
Hmm.
same way too. And we
Hmm.
always say the sisters you didn't know you
You didn't know you
needed.
did
And we come together and we have so much fun.
so
So
much.
we are true examples, ladies. So you have to find something that truly brings you joy. And you know
Yes.
what's so great about our connections as our group of ladies? And it's about 13 of us
Hmm.
that are in our sister circle. Double Dutch connected us, but we are so beyond the ropes.
Hmm.
And for a long time, we didn't know anyone's career. We didn't know anyone's job. It didn't
Last
matter.
names.
We didn't care about that. All we knew is we came together for a common purpose, and that's what mattered.
Yes.
And it is so refreshing to
Hmm.
have the group of ladies that we have, and
Yes.
we are we're like kids when we're together. Excited to see your friends, waiting to
Yeah.
go to the playground, whatever that
Yes.
is.
Yes.
That's how
Yes.
we are. So, yes, it
Yes.
is truly, truly a joy, and it allows you to leave the cares of the world behind.
Yes.
When we pull out the ropes and we hula hoop and we dance And we just do whatever we can do to bring out the pure joy in being a
Yes.
woman.
Yes. Yes. And it's awesome.
It
It's
is
awesome.
awesome.
Hmm.
Yes. And we're
Hmm.
getting better at jumping because we
Yes,
had
we are.
not done it since we were kids. And the more we come together, we encourage, we challenge each other, and we laugh at each other now.
Yes. And the more we do it, the better we're getting.
Yes, yes. And we are having a ball.
Yes.
So, yes,
Yes.
this has been such an awesome time. How would people follow you? I know you are listed as Erica Yvette. Should they look for Erica Yvette on the various platforms and they'll be able
Yes.
to connect with you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes. The
Are
Facebook
you
and Instagram.
okay, good. Are you working on anything now that you would like to share just to kind of let people know?
I don't have any projects right now. No. I'm kind of
Okay.
just laying low and letting God move me. However God moves, that's how I move.
And that's key. So you know that if God is in it, everything is going to be all right and he's
It is
preparing
well
you
done.
for it. He's
Yes.
preparing you or he's preparing it for your arrival.
That's
So
it.
that's the good thing.
That's
That's
it.
the great thing.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that is
Yeah.
so awesome. It has been such a joy to share with you, to allow you to tell your story, to empower others. Sitting with my sister, Erica Yvette, the Never Settle coach.
Yes, ma'am.
And she is available to give you words of encouragement and empowerment. She's a testimony that there is love after heartbreak. Don't give up. But the key is you don't go looking for it. Allow God
God to
to
bring it
do
to
the
you.
work, and
Yes.
He will bring you your purpose partner,
Yes.
not what you
Yes.
think you want.
Mm-hmm.
God will give you what you need for your
Mm-hmm.
future. He's not even dealing with you in your presence. He's dealing with you in your future.
Yes. Yes.
And that is so good. And I am so glad to be able to be a witness to see the joy in your heart and to see how you share and you talk about your husband with such joy all the
Yes.
time. Such joy all the time. That's so good.
You know,
You're still giddy behind him.
I am after 20 years.
Yes, that's good. 20 years, you're still giddy behind him. So that's a great thing.
Yes.
And that is so refreshing.
But you know,
Yes.
the word tells you a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. And we
Yes.
spend so much time trying to find him
Right.
instead of letting him find you.
Yes.
You know, that's key. Because we're doing the looking. Just sit
Mhm.
back, tell God what it is you want. I mean, I didn't personally do that, but he knew what I needed. But sit back and let it come to you. Quit trying to find it. Quit chasing. God
Right.
knows what you need. God knows what you want.
Right. And you know what? You just spoke the word. And what's so key with that word is he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor with the Lord. But you have to be the good thing when you're found.
Whoo!
So many women want God to give them his best, but are you the good thing? Do
Hmm.
the self work. So when
Yes,
you're found, because you have to be a wife when you're found. The marriage ceremony does not make you a wife.
that's right.
It just
Hmm.
legalizes it and it's supposed to be God ordained. But you ought to
Yes,
have some wife in you
yes,
when you're found.
yes,
So
yes,
that's the part
yes,
that a lot of women are failing in. You want
yes,
God to give you his best, but who are
yes,
you?
yes. And it's so funny because when I met my husband, somebody asked me, "Does he have a brother?" And I was like, "No, he doesn't." Oh man, because I want one. They called his name. I want one like him, and I'm like, you got to be prepared for that. You was fooling
Mhm.
around with somebody's husband. You ain't ready for him.
Right.
You,
Right.
you got to be right.
You got to be
You
that
can't be
good
bringing
thing.
that man baggage.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. You can't be praying to God and still praying the PREY
Right.
after you PRAY. You can't be both. So
Exactly.
that is so key, ladies.
Yes.
Women, it is time for us to get it together. It is time for ladies to take our rightful place and walk in the authority that God has given us. We've got to be the good thing
Yes.
that He is looking for. It's time for us to have a check yourself moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you truly don't have to settle. You get to pave your own way when you know who you are and you're doing it God's way.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
that's what's important, ladies. So
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for you
Thank
to,
you. Yes.
to chat with you. And now viewers get to hear your story. They get to see your joy. They get to connect with you. And I thank God for you. And may God continue to strengthen you and to do great things through you and let your voice reach the nations and
Thank
let
you.
your
Thank you.
story change lives
Yes.
because people can see that it's okay to acknowledge where you've been, but always be preparing yourself for where you're going.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to share on your platform.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I
Yes.
thank each of you for tuning in to hear the testimony of Erica Yvette. I continue to seek guests who can give you stories of hope
Mhm.
and empowerment. So I encourage you to continue to follow me, Tanshell Ward. This is By His Grace podcast. Not worthy, but worth it. Until next time, you be blessed. And thank you again, Erica, for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And I will chat with you later and
All
be
right.
blessed. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.